So I'm here at the West Australian state elections. I've decided to help out the Greens this year because they're our best bet for the trans community and just for sanity in general. So I'll be handing out how to vote cards, how an Australian election works. So this is the local primary school. They're using that hall as the election. You can see a little row of voters behind me. Polling stations open about 8, close about 8. And here are people handing out how to vote cards, which I'll be doing. There's a set range from the actual electoral building you're allowed to do political activity. The officer in charge of the polling site will mark that out, but I can see it's basically, you can see. Don't go into the quadrangle. Everyone's just sitting out here peacefully. Behind me there, that is the inevitable democracy sausage sizzle. Those are basically local charity groups fry up sausages and sell cold drinks and all that sort of thing. It is very much an Australian tradition. Who are these guys? It's a local Children's Cancer Fund. So the actual political candidates themselves, where are they? You can probably see the gentleman there in the red behind me. He's the Labor candidate. Everyone's just wandering around. You'll notice some interesting differences to American elections. The very good crowd management, no guns, no one foaming at the mouth, and no guns. Just perfectly peaceable. This is how you run an election. All elections are done with paper ballots. When I worked, I would be paid as a volunteer. You turn up about 4 in the morning, help them set up, and you split into people who are helping manage the crowd, people who direct folk to where they have to vote. Some people need to vote as an absentee vote because they're outside of the electorate and so on. Someone else is standing guard over the actual ballot boxes. There's other people sending you different slips and so forth. So you go there, you vote, it goes into the ballot boxes. There's a chain of custody at all times on the ballots. Total security, no worries, no bothers, everything's fine. It's a professional organisation, staffed by well-meaning people and filled up with community volunteers, none of whom carry guns or foam at the mouth. So I'm not doing that this year because my activism was needed by the community, and if you are going to volunteer to work with the actual electoral commission, you have to cease any political activity for months ahead. Not voice opinions online, you have to be completely neutral. I couldn't do that this year, there's too much to do for the community, but this is how they run. So an interesting thing is that I've gotten to bend the ear of several of the actual candidates, also the actual state premier and so on. I managed to corner them to talk to them about trying to make statements of trans rights, explaining to them about the genocide that's going on and how we need to stop this crossing into Australia. I've universally been blocked. It's such a shame that's happening. It's like, all right, well, what are you going to do about it? What statements are you going to do? What support can we see? What statement are you going to make that American hate politics has no place in Australia? Evasive every time. So I say we're getting nothing out of any of these people at all. Woo, so anyway, home after what? I started at 8. It's 5 o'clock now. I could have stayed an extra hour, but the voters had vanished from that particular polling station, so it was time to pack it up and call it quits. That's how an Australian election is done, complete with sausages. As you can see, we have a preferential voting system, which means you can have, democracy. One or two, what we call cookers go past, a couple of complete idiots wearing MAGA hats. It's like, someone let Grandad out. Apart from that, everyone just treats each other perfectly well. I'm tired, I'm going to sit down. Time for a cup of tea.